Welcome to Cornering the Job Market for Friday, August 15th. Here are the headlines you need to know. On Wednesday, Chicago Federal Reserve President Austin Goolsbee said there are parts of the job market where there's still basically labor shortages. He said it's very hard for people to find workers. Now, that is interesting because you know what solves a labor shortage? Now, this may surprise you, but I'm going to give away a secret here that apparently the Fed doesn't want you to know. But for any company who can't find workers, here you go, offer better pay. Yep, that's it. If you pay more, your labor shortage will evaporate overnight. I know, that's crazy, right? Who knew? And in other groundbreaking news, the world is round. So there you have it. Now that that cat's out of the bag, we can move on with our lives. Unbelievable. So, have you discovered Breakroom yet? It's another employee review site. This one is offered by ZipRecruiter. I'll share it here for you. I just discovered it this week. I think it's brand, but it gives employees the ability to take a survey and rate their employer. So let's see. Chick-fil-A, a 6.1. Now I thought everyone loved Chick-fil-A. Maybe not so much working there. Arby's, not good. Green, yellow, red. Trader Joe's, all right. That's positive at 8.6. So look, did we really need another employee review site in our life? I mean, we have Glassdoor, we have Indeed, and only about a dozen others. So thanks ZipRecruiter for giving us something that the world definitely didn't need at this point. And look, people like these sites, I think. I don't know that anyone really relies on them too much. But the problem that I have with them is they're anonymous. I mean, they could be, for all poor Chick-fil-A, for all we know, it could be the marketing department from McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King piling on to make Chick-fil-A look bad, right? And Chick-fil-A has no way to defend themselves against this. So I really don't like the anonymity of those things, but no one listens to me on that. But we have it. So breakroom.cc if you want to go and review your employer, check other ones out from ZipRecruiter. There you go. Goldman Sachs. We love Goldman Sachs. Big and powerful, but they are forecasting a small, short-lived bump in U.S. unemployment, only about 0.5 percentage point as workers get shuffled around during AI transition. Now, they say wider adoption could put 6 to 7% of U.S. jobs at risk, especially among roles like programmers, accountants, and admin assistants. But they say don't panic. The upheaval is expected to be transitory. Now, where have we heard that word before? Oh, I remember. Inflation was supposed to be transitory. That's a terrible word to use. And as it relates to AI, I don't buy it. They say historically tech disruptions like this bounce back within 2 years. Okay, Goldman Sachs, what tech disruption has been anything like AI? The answer, none. Never. Nothing has been like AI. Now, I know I sound like Chicken Little every time I talk about this, but and I want to be proven wrong, but I think the disruption is going to be significant, much more than 6% of US jobs being at risk. Scares the hell out of me. Come on, Goldman Sachs. I'm not buying it. So look, here's another story that came up, and this is from a staffing company, Express Employment. They're a massive organization. They did a survey where they did a Harris poll of 1,000 U.S. hiring decision makers. They said 83% of employers are taking cost-saving measures due to fears of a recession. Okay, so cost-saving measures, that's a good thing, right? Companies should be doing that, but they're fearing a recession. I don't like the motivation, but here's what they're doing. 45% are trimming unnecessary expenses, 29% are streamlining hiring processes, and 26% are cross-training existing employees. Okay, my first question when I read this is, why aren't all of them taking measures to trim unnecessary expenses and streamline hiring processes? I mean, isn't that what you're just supposed to do? You don't need a recession to do that. So what the hell are the 55% that aren't trimming unnecessary expenses doing? That's weird. I don't really get that, but nonetheless, look, these steps they say are coming at a strategic cost, as more than 60% of the leaders surveyed say recession preparations are distracting them from long-term priorities. Yeah, I guess they would. And that more than half have had to overhaul their strategic plans for this year. However, there's some good news. 78% say their company will be in a better economic position by year end. Well, yeah, if you don't hire anyone and just let those positions go unfilled, I guess that's probably short lived. But look, what I don't love about this article, no one should, is I trust staffing companies because we are at the front line of hiring. And what I mean by that is when companies use a staffing company, it's because they have to, not because they need to, or I'm sorry, they have to, not because they want to. Yes, they need to. And when it's subjective, when you have a choice of using a staffing company or not, when that cut happens, when that hiring starts to slow down, it's not a good sign for anyone. And so I've always believed that staffing companies feel it first. And so when these hiring managers that Express Employment is working with are expressing concern and taking steps, regardless of whether they should have been taking them anyway, that's not a good sign for anyone. I don't like that at all. And then finally, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal this week titled, "My Cafe Dumped Me for Doing Work." So if you thought coffee shops were a safe haven for anyone who can work from anywhere, it's no longer the case, apparently. This writer found themselves being dumped by their favorite Manhattan cafe when this place banned laptops outright. So apparently freelancers and remote workers have been treating this cafe as their office. Now that happens, right? We know that. I mean, everyone loves working at a coffee shop. I certainly do when I'm on vacation or traveling. I love parking in a coffee shop. But you can see why it's not great for business. Now, this particular place they outright banned it. They put signs up, apparently in bold saying, "Important announcement, no laptops, just reading, daydreaming, and chit chat." Well, we all would love to just do that all day, but we still have to work. At least most of us do. So I guess my message there is be cognizant of these businesses that need to make a profit. A lot of these coffee shops are small and they just can't afford to have their valuable table space taken up by people who aren't spending money. So I suspect there's a happy medium where if you're going to work for an extended period of time, just make sure you're buying regularly, right? Don't just take free refills if they offer them or no refills at all. Just be conscious of the fact that that company, that restaurant needs to make money. So hopefully this writer finds a place to work in the near future. So that's it. Those are your 5 headlines to close the week. But here's your fun fact. The first known employment agency opened in Paris in 1637, run by a former soldier who matched workers with jobs for a fee. Now, when I first read that, I immediately thought, what kind of jobs? Now, this is the oldest employment agency we're talking about. We know what the oldest profession is. I don't need to say that out loud. And it was a former soldier. Reach your own conclusion on what kind of workers he was matching there. And we will close with that for today. So thanks for listening. Please like this video. I'm trying to get it off the ground. I'm kind of having fun doing this. Hopefully it's providing valuable information, but give me your feedback. If you don't like what I'm sharing, tell me. I have my finger on the pulse, as every staffing company does, of what is going on in the job market. I live and breathe this all day long, but I'm trying to get out relevant information to everyone who will benefit from it. So subscribe, but give me your feedback along the way if you want something different, or if you disagree with anything I said, let me know that too. I'm always up for a good debate. Have a great weekend. See you next time.